Assalamu alaikum. This is your computer science teacher, Sir Fawad Akhtar Ansari. And in the last class, we studied the conditional statements, and in today's class, we will study loop structures. So, what is a loop? Basically, loop used to execute a block of code until a certain time frame. And in the syllabus of Cambridge Computer Science, we have got three loops in the pseudocode: for loop, while loop, and the repeat loop. But in the Python, we have only for loop and the while loop to study according to the Cambridge Computer Science syllabus. Also, we have got variations of for loop and the while loop, but these are not the part of the syllabus, so we are not going to touch that topic. We will only study which is covered in the syllabus. So let's begin. So first loop is a for loop, which we already know that it is a count control loop and it has got a fixed number of iterations. So you already studied in the theory, so let's jump to the practical. Now in the Python, we have got a different structure of a for loop. So for example, this is a question that write a program to print numbers from 1 to 10. So how do we write the code? We use the type the keyword for, and then after that we type our variable name, and then we use a keyword in range. So inside the range, we give the numbers that we wish to display our data or content, whatever. So we just give it inside this block in range and 1 comma till 11. For example, it is 1 to 10, so we'll write 1 till 11. So when we write this code, then we type this code as well to display the numbers. So let's check the Python implementation. For example, I have already pasted my code over here, so I'm going to run it for you. Be careful for the indentation. If you do not do the indentation means the gap which we used to do in the if statement and inside the loops. So this is a gap that we have to be careful. So when I click on the run, you can see that the numbers are displayed. Display our number in the row form. But if you want to display your data, so in the serial number wise, so I remove this code, and now let's check what is the impact of this code. Now look, our numbers have been printed in the serial wise sequence: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9 10. So it's up to you. You follow this code or you follow this code. Output is a bit different, but basically it depends upon your requirement which code you wish to follow. So it does not matter. Alright, now next thing is, for example, write a program to print even numbers. So how do we do? Same thing, we write the keyword and then we write our variable name, and we write the keyword in range, and inside the range what we have to do, we have to display the numbers from 2 till 20. So we give 2 till 21, but we are talking about the even numbers. So in the even number, we have got a jump of two numbers. For example, 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. So we have got two numbers jump, so that is why after that we can write the number and then we can simply display it. So now I copy my code and I paste it in this Python compiler. Now I have to be very much careful while pasting the code. I have to do the indentation. One more thing, that after completing typing the code, you write the colon as well. You can see it here, colon. So yeah, now let's test the code. Sometimes it takes time to compile due to your internet speed. Alright, now the numbers are displayed from 2 till 20, and you can see the numbers are even number. Just because of 2, you can see that 2, then 4, then 6, then 8. What if I give a distance of 5 numbers? So let's see what will happen. Now 2, then 7, then 12, and then 17. So we can do the practice like changing the numbers, shuffling the numbers to clear the concept that what would happen if. It is a good practice. I recommend to my learners that if they do the experiment of these type of stuff, so they will learn more fastly. But definitely we have to follow the question. So first do the practice of the question, then go for the next step. Now next thing is write a program to calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to 10. So here we are taking the variable and initializing it with the 0. Then again we write the for keyword. Then after that we use our variable. Then we write the keyword in a range, and inside the range we write our numbers. Then here we have to calculate the sum of numbers, so we are adding the formula sum of numbers. We are doing the increment, so that is why we are doing this formula. I explain you in the Python, don't worry if you do not get it. Let me copy and paste the code, then I will explain you how does it work. Okay G, so inside the for loop I do the indentation. So what if I go for the traditional method? Instead of doing this, what I do, I use the simple formula total equals to total plus number. It is just like that, total equals to total plus number. So this is the formula that we usually use in our pseudo code, total equals to total plus number. So it will keep adding the numbers into the current number to calculate the sum. So now let's check it. So the sum of number is 55. What if I revert the formula? For example, I am not using this formula, I use this formula. So plus it will do the same thing that the old formula did. So let's run this and keep this output in your mind. Now I click on the run. So you get the same output because the formula is same, the task is same. So that is why it does not matter you follow this formula or you follow the other form like this one. So it's up to you. Okay G, so now I hope you got the concept, because mostly things you have studied in the theory, but we are just studying the Python syntax, so it is more or less similar. And then there are the other rest of the questions for the practice, so I want you to do the practice. It is for your own good, and there are the solved and unsolved exercises as well, as you can see, for example in exercise 2.6. Now let's talk about the while loop definition or the while loop. So basically while loop also performs the while loop, basically the precondition loop which is used to test the condition in the beginning of it. So basically it is a precondition testing loop. So let's see how does it work. So the same question that we want to display the numbers from 1 to 10. So here we the same thing that we did in the pseudo code, we take the variable and initialize it with the 1 or the 0 as per your requirement. Then same thing in the pseudo code that we write while, so we use in the Python while, same thing. You cannot see any difference around here, just except the colon part. After the 10 there is a colon, and then the same thing, there is no difference. It is just a reflection of a pseudo code that you can see. So let's copy and paste the code in the Python compiler. The same thing we have to take care of the indentation, and inside the loop we are making the increment, because in the for loop the incrementing is automatically done, but in the while and the repeat loop we have to do it manually. So the same thing, for example, if you wish to write the formula number equals to number, so it's up to you, you go for it, number equals to number plus 1, for example this thing. So let's see the difference. Okay, the same thing, same output that we saw in the for loop. Now if I change this formula, instead of number equals to number plus 1, I am changing the formula, reverting it back. Now let's check the output. So yeah, the same thing happens here, so there is no change in the output. Now what if I remove the e and the and equals to? The purpose of this code that I highlighted for you is to display the numbers in the horizontal or in the row form. You can see it is in the row form. But if I do not want this kind of output, I removed it, and let's see what will be the output. So you can see the output. The same thing happened in the for loop, so you can see it here. Now let's do another question. The programs that we made with the for loop, we are making the same programs with the while loop. The reason is obvious, to uh, clarify the difference between the execution of the loops, so you can easily understand. Now the same thing happens. Now I do not explain it here, I will explain you in the Python. So let's copy and paste the code. The code is pretty simple. We take the variable even number and I assign the value to, so that's why I'm taking a jump of 2, and until my even number reaches to the 20, so it will keep incrementing it. As you can see, we are doing the increment of 2 because we have to make a jump of 2, so this is the reason. Now let's do the coding. Check the output. Now you can see that it is here the same thing. So we started from the 2 and we end till 20 with a jump of 2. Let's do the experiment. What if I do the jump of 5? So what will be the output? So look, the same output that we saw in the for loop. And if you want to change the output formation, for example, instead of row wise, you can see in the column wise. So it's up to you that which output you prefer. So yeah, I hope you got the concept, you understood it. But if you have still any queries, please ask me on the WhatsApp. I have given my WhatsApp number in the description, and I recommend you to practice more and more so you will clear your concepts in the programming, Python programming. And thank you so much attending the class and watching the video. Take care. Allah Hafiz.